Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Ganpati All Things. After a very long break, we are back with our video. And in the last video, I have taught you some of the basics of this chapter. And this video, I have written some handwritten notes for you all, so that you can write in your copy and learn from them. It will make your chapter much easier. So let's begin. As I've given the introduction of the cell, it is the structural and the functional unit of life. And how it is? So structural as it forms the structure of our body, and functional as it performs every basic function for our body. It was first discovered by Robert Hooke in 1665, as I have told you the last video, and Robert Brown in 1931 discovered the nucleus of the cell, means the center part of the cell, that we are going to learn in our further classes. And types of organisms. After that, we will now, today's topic is type of organism, which will be divided into two: unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. Unicellular, as its name indicates, uni it means one, means single, and multi it means many, in large number. So let's study the points. It is represented by a single cell. All the activities are performed by the single cell, as in the bacteria. There is no division of labor, as the single cell perform all the activities, and the lifespan is individual is short. It means the bacteria live for a short time. And in multicellular organism, it consists of a large number of cells, and single cell perform one or few activities of the organisms. Cells are specialized to perform different functions, and the lifespan of an individual is long as human beings. So in this on this page, we have studied about the structure and the function of the cell, whom it is discovered by, and who discovered the nucleus, and the type of organisms. So we will continue to our next page. So now we will learn about the kinds of cells. So there are two kinds of cells: prokaryotic and eukaryotic. In prokaryotic cells, size of the cell is generally small, nucleus is absent, and it contains single chromosome, and nucleolus is also absent. In this, nucleus is absent, it means a well defined nucleus is not present there. Okay, and in eukaryotic cells, which the cells are present in our bodies, size of the cell is generally large, nucleus is present, it means well defined nucleus is present. It contains more than one chromosomes, as you know that we have 42 pairs of chromosomes, as in our body 28 pairs of chromosomes are present, and nucleolus is also present in this. Now we will learn about osmosis. What is osmosis? Osmosis, the movement of water molecules through a selective permeable membrane, is called osmosis. It means through a cell membrane the water passes. This is known as osmosis. Now we will learn about hypotonic solution, isotonic and hypertonic. In hypotonic solution, if the medium surrounding of the cell has the higher water concentration than this inside the cell, means that the outside solution is very dilute and the cell will gain water by osmosis. Such a solution is called hypotonic solution. It means when you put raisins in water, as it does not have any water, so it will gain water and it will big large in size. And what is isotonic? If the medium has exactly the same water concentration as the cell, there will be no movement of water across the cell membrane. Such a solution is called isotonic. If it means that no solution goes in and no solution come out. Okay, now we will learn about hypertonic solutions. Hypertonic solution, if the medium has lower concentration of water than the cell, means that is very concentrated solution, the cell will lose water by osmosis. Such a solution is called hypertonic. It means the cells, we can take example of raisins. If it is filled with water, then it will lose its all the water in that container. Now we will learn about the structure of the cell, the most important topic. First is plasma membrane or the cell membrane. This is the outermost covering of the cell that separates the contents of the cell from its external environment. It means it is the border. It is the border of the cell which is created all around the cell, and it is present in both animals and plant cell. It allows the entry and exit of some material in and out of the cell. Therefore, it is called selectively permeable membrane. Permeable, it means it is porous, it has holes inside it, and selectively, it means it allows only the selective particles to go in and come out. It is made up of lipids and protein. Lipids is a kind of proteins and fats. Okay, so it is made up of lipids and proteins. Now we will learn about cell wall. In plant cell, in addition to the plasma membrane have another rigid outer layer covering called the cell wall. It lies outside the cell membrane. It is made up of cellulose. Yes, about cellulose I want to tell you one thing, that cellulose are only present in the cell walls, and we cannot eat the leaves of any plant and tree because cellulose is present in that and our stomach cannot digest it. When a living plant cell loses water through osmosis, there is a shrinkage or contraction of the cell away from the cell wall. This phenomenon is called the plasmosis. As we have studied about osmosis, so it is plasmosis. Okay, and it is present only in the plant cell as it need a outer covering that is of made of cellulose, and if plant cell does not have any cell wall, then we can also eat leaves because it is made up of cellulose. Okay, so this is the rigid outer covering layer. It means it is very tough. We will study now about its functions. It determines the shape and the rigidity to the plant cell. It means it provides a perfect shape, and rigidity, it means the support to the plant cell. So now we will learn about more of its functions. So next function is it protects the plasma membrane and it helps in the transport of various substances in and out of the cell. Now we will study about nucleus. It is the main part of the cell. It means as in our body, brain is the main part and it is the controller. So in cells, nucleus is the brain and it is the controller of the cell. The nucleus has a double layered membrane called nuclear membrane. The nuclear membrane has pores, as I have told you earlier that it is porous, and all the membrane present in the cell are porous, whether it is a plasma membrane or nuclear membrane, which allows the transfer of material in and out of the nucleus. It contains chromosomes, which contains information for inheritance of characters from parents to their offsprings. Offspring means kids, in the form of DNAs. Chromosomes are composed of DNAs and proteins. Okay, now we will read about the functions. It is the most important part. It controls all the metabolic activities of the cell, whether it is passing of the materials and all the functions that are done by any other part. It contains the genes in the form of DNAs. It regulates the cell cycle, that how the cell is growing and how it is. Okay, now we will study about cytoplasm. It is the fluid contained inside the plasma membrane. It is a jelly-like structure which fills up the space between cell organelles. It acts as a store of vital chemicals such as amino acids, glucose, vitamins, etc. It is the liquid which is filled inside the cell. Okay, and now we will study about the cell organelles, which is the another most important part of the cell, and it is only present in the eukaryotic cell. It is not present in prokaryotic cell, as it is composed of a single cell, so no cell organelles are present. And in the end of the video I will show you the difference between the eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells, and I will also show you their diagrams. So now we will learn about the cell organelles, that what are they. So let's see. First cell organelle is endoplasmic reticulum. There are two type of endoplasmic reticulum. ER, it means endoplasmic reticulum. First is SCR and second is RER. Now what is this SCR? SCR, it means smooth endoplasmic reticulum, and RER, it means rough endoplasmic reticulum. RER looks rough because it has particles called ribosomes attached to its surface, and RER helps in the manufacture of proteins, as it have ribosomes and ribosome manufacture proteins, so it also help RER. What is SCR? SCR help in the manufacture of fats and lipids. Some of these proteins and lipids help in the binding of the cell membrane, as I have told you in the beginning that they are made up of lipids and proteins. This process is called membrane biogenesis. Okay. Now its functions: it gives support to the cell, it helps in the transport of various substances from nuclear membrane to the plasma membrane. RER help in the synthesis of proteins, and SCR help in the synthesis of lipids. Lipids, it is a kind of fats. And now we will study about Golgi apparatus, which is another important organ, another important part of the cell. The main function of the Golgi apparatus is secretary, means it is the main secretary of the cell. It is also involved in the synthesis of the cell membrane, cell wall and liposomes. Its function include the storage, modification and packaging of the products cycles. Now we will study about lysosomes. Lysosomes contain powerful digestive enzymes. During breakdown of the cell structure. When cells get damaged, lysosome may burnt out, and enzymes eat up their own cells. That's why lysosomes are also called the suicidal bags. Yes, it is called suicidal bags of the cell. Now we'll study about the another. Now the next is mitochondria. Mitochondria are called the powerhouse of the cell because they release energy in the form of ATP molecules. They have their own DNA and ribosomes. They are the sites for the cellular respiration. Now we will study about plastids. They are only present in the plant cell. There are two types of plastids, chromoplasts and leucoplasts. Chromoplast contains green pigment called chlorophyll, which are known as the chloroplast. Plastids also have their own DNA and ribosomes. They help in the storage of substances such as starch, oil, protein granules. They give color to the different organ of the plant as green. Now we will learn about vacuoles. They are small size in animal cells, while plant cells have very large vacuoles. Vacuoles are full of cell sap. It means the liquid found in the cell. They help in the storage of substances such as amino acid, sugar, etc. They provide turgidity and rigidity to the cell, support to the cell. Now we will study the last topic, difference between plant cell and the animal cell. Cell wall is present, and in an animal cell wall is not present. Shape of the plant cell is generally rectangular, and shape of animal cell is generally irregular. It means it can be of any shape. Plastids are present in plant cell and plastids are absent in the animal cell. Vacuoles in plant cell are big and permanent and larger in number, and vacuoles in animal cell are small, temporary and smaller in number. Golgi bodies are present in the form of dictyosomes, and Golgi bodies are present. Centrosomes and centrioles are not present, and in this centrosomes and centrioles are present. Now I will also make you clear two question answer to in-text questions of the science. Who discovered cell and how? Cell was discovered by Robert Hooke with the help of his self-designed microscope. He examined a thin slice of cork and saw that the cork resembled the structure of the honeycomb, consisting of many compartments. And our second question, why is the cell and called the structure and the functional unit of life? They various components in the cells, and plants cells are known as the cell organelles. Each kind of the cell organelle perform a specific function as making new materials, release of waste, transportation, etc. Thus a cell can perform all its function with the help of these organelles. That's why the cell are called structure and the functional unit of life. As promised, this is the image of the eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells. You can see the difference.